Welcome to the DIY Honda Barrage channel. DTC P0717 indicates a problem in the continuous variable transmission, CVT, related to the input shaft speed sensor A circuit. The input shaft speed sensor is responsible for monitoring the speed of the input shaft in the CVT. This data is crucial for ensuring optimal performance and smooth operation of the transmission. The sensor is located within the transmission assembly, making it somewhat challenging to access without proper tools. Detecting a no-signal condition suggests an electrical circuit failure rather than a mechanical issue with the transmission components themselves. Understanding this distinction is vital for accurate troubleshooting, as mechanical problems in the transmission do not trigger this specific DTC. The CVT input shaft speed sensor A, which can trigger DTC P0717, is a critical component within the transmission system of the Honda Accord. Its primary function is to monitor the speed of the input shaft, transmitting data to the Transmission Control Module, TCM. Located in the transmission assembly, the sensor provides feedback essential for controlling shift patterns and overall transmission performance. When this sensor fails or experiences a circuit issue, the TCM displays the DTC P0717 to indicate a no-signal condition. It's important to note that this fault is purely electrical and does not implicate any mechanical malfunction within the transmission itself. Correctly diagnosing this issue requires understanding both the sensor's role and its physical position within the vehicle. The primary causes for the DTC P0717 can be classified into three categories. First, an electrical circuit issue is a common root cause, as the code indicates a no-signal condition from the input shaft speed sensor A. Second, the sensor itself may be faulty and not providing accurate readings to the TCM. Lastly, damaged wiring, such as cuts in the wire insulation or corrosion at the connectors, can also lead to communication failures between the sensor and the TCM. Investigating these areas will help pinpoint the source of the problem, ensuring that you can apply the most effective repair method. Troubleshooting should begin with checking the wiring and connections before moving on to testing the sensor itself. The symptoms associated with DTC P0717 often manifest as noticeable changes in the vehicle's performance. One of the most common indicators is transmission slipping, where the vehicle fails to accelerate smoothly due to the unreliable data from the input shaft speed sensor. This can also result in poor acceleration, since the TCM is unable to determine the optimal gear ratio for power delivery. Additionally, the check engine light will illuminate, alerting the driver that a transmission-related issue has been detected. Recognizing these symptoms early will aid in timely diagnosis and repair, ultimately reducing the likelihood of further transmission-related complications. In the first step of troubleshooting DTC P0717, the vehicle should be turned to the on mode to initiate diagnostics. The next critical action involves using the Honda Diagnostic System, HDS, to clear any existing DTCs. This is essential because it resets the system, allowing for accurate monitoring of the current state of the vehicle. After clearing the DTCs, the vehicle must be raised securely on a lift, ensuring that all four wheels have the ability to rotate freely. This setup is crucial for subsequent tests where real-time data will need to be captured while the vehicle is in motion. It sets the stage for determining whether the issue is intermittent, as retrieving accurate DTC data requires vehicle operation under specific conditions. The second step involves running the vehicle at speeds exceeding 19 miles per hour for a minimum of 30 seconds. This test is vital as it simulates normal driving conditions, allowing the input shaft speed sensor to function within its expected range. After this period, it's important to slow down and stop, so the HDS can be used to check for any pending or confirmed DTCs. If the DTC P0717 appears again, it confirms that the failure is not transient and requires further investigation. Conversely, if the code does not reappear, it may indicate an intermittent issue or a temporary glitch, warranting checks for poor connections and loose terminals between the torque converter turbine speed sensor and the TCM. In this step, the vehicle must be turned to the off-lock mode to ensure safety while working on the electrical components. Next, the connector for the torque converter turbine speed sensor must be disconnected to isolate the sensor from the circuit. Following this disconnection, the voltage between designated test points should be measured. Specifically, test point 1 is the female terminal number 2 of the torque converter turbine speed sensor connector, and test point 2 is body ground. If the measured voltage is approximately 5 volts, it indicates that the circuit is functioning correctly, allowing you to move on to the next troubleshooting step. If the voltage is not as expected, it suggests issues within the circuit that need addressing. During this step, the focus shifts to measuring voltage at different terminals of the torque converter turbine speed sensor connector. The vehicle should still be in the on mode with the connector disconnected. You will check the voltage at test point 1, female terminals number 1, against test point 2, female terminal number 3. If you measure around 5 volts, it indicates that the torque converter turbine speed sensor is likely faulty and needs to be replaced. If the voltage is absent, it suggests that the sensor is operational, but further investigation is needed to check for an open circuit in the SG2 wire between the sensor and the TCM. Accurate voltage readings are crucial at this stage to guide the proper course of action effectively. Step 5 involves turning the vehicle to the off-lock mode and subsequently disconnecting the TCM, Transmission Control Module 50P connector. This action is necessary to isolate the circuit for testing continuity. During the testing procedure, continuity must be checked between test point 1, female terminals, number 2, of the torque converter turbine speed sensor connector, and test point 2, body ground. Finding continuity indicates a short to ground within the NT wire between the turbine speed sensor and the TCM, which requires immediate repair. If continuity is absent, it shows that the NT wire may be in good condition, leading to the next troubleshooting step, to confirm whether the wiring is intact. In the final troubleshooting step, continuity must be checked between the torque converter turbine speed sensor 3P connector and the TCM 50P connector, both of which need to be disconnected. Test point 1 is the female terminal number 2 of the torque converter turbine speed sensor, and test point 2 is TCM 50P connector number 49. If there is continuity, it suggests that the NT wire is functioning correctly, but further action is required. This includes checking for any authorized service information relevant to DTCs or symptoms being observed, or substituting a known good TCM for testing. If replacing the TCM resolves the issue, the original TCM should be replaced. If continuity is absent, it indicates an open circuit in the NT wire that must be repaired promptly. To confirm successful repairs after addressing DTC P0717, a thorough verification process is essential. First, ensure that all systems are functioning properly by inspecting the performance of the CVT under various driving conditions. After conducting the necessary repairs, it is crucial to clear any DTCs and monitor for the reoccurrence of the P0717 code. During this phase, professionals should run the vehicle to replicate the conditions that previously triggered the DTC. If no codes reappear and the CVT operates smoothly, It confirms that the underlying issue has been effectively resolved. This verification step is vital to assure both technician confidence and customer satisfaction. Preventive maintenance plays a crucial role in avoiding issues related to DTC P0717. One of the key elements is performing regular electrical checks to ensure that all components within the CVT system are functioning correctly. Technicians should routinely inspect the wiring for any signs of damage, corrosion, or wear that could potentially lead to electrical failures. Keeping connections clean and secure can prevent intermittent faults from developing. It's also advisable to follow scheduled maintenance as outlined in the vehicle service manual, which often includes transmission fluid changes and inspections. By prioritizing preventive maintenance, one can significantly decrease the likelihood of DTCs like P0717 occurring in the future. In summary, DTC P0717 points to an electrical circuit issue associated with the input shaft speed sensor A of the CVT. Understanding the role of the sensor and its connections is fundamental in resolving the fault effectively. Symptoms may include transmission slipping and a check engine light, guiding technicians in pinpointing the problem. The troubleshooting steps outline a methodical approach to diagnose the issue accurately, checking for voltage and continuity at various test points. Additionally, conducting regular preventive maintenance can significantly mitigate the risks of encountering related DTCs. By following these guidelines, both technicians and vehicle owners can ensure that the Honda Accord remains in optimal operational condition. Please like and subscribe to the channel. See you next time.